Hello all. Welcome to ByBreann. This is a podcast where we will be talking about all things relatable. You can take this as more of a come on this journey with me podcast rather than advice. However, take all the advice you need as I give you these experiences from my point of view. So, just to get straight into it, the topic today is Big World, Little Me, where we will be talking about coming out of your comfort zone. Now, me, I am a very introverted person. I would say I have to be around people that get me out of my comfort zone in order to be a little extroverted, or if I'm around extroverted people that I'm comfortable with, then I will be extroverted with them. But for the most part, I very introverted, and I like to keep to myself, very reserved. I grew up around a lot of introverted people. Like that's how I grew up. Those were my surroundings. Very calm, very down to earth. So, growing up, I was always shy. Didn't really have a voice. I felt like there was nothing wrong with that, just simply because I was okay with not having all the attention be on me. I froze up every time, the eyes were to come to me, or it was Naya this, Naya that. But honestly, it was more so of like a comfort thing, And I also think one of the factors of me also being introverted was I never really had the opportunity to connect with a lot of my friends outside of school, so kind of turned me into a homebody. I learned how to keep myself company. I was the only child for like 8 years of my life, so yeah, that's really, I think, the root of me being introverted. And weirdly enough, I think I have a equal amount of introverted and extroverted friends, but like my extroverted friends, I feel as though I'm comfortable enough around them to bring out a side of me that people who only know me as an introvert don't really see. So I really think it's interesting enough that people who are introverted like myself can also hang out with people who are outgoing and out there. And I also think it's just maybe like a factor of me wanting to be like that, in a sense, like a part of me wanting to be or have extroverted characteristics. And I'm just finding a balance right now. I do know, like, my comfort zone is just being inside my little shell, but I do know that as well there are also negatives to not having a voice. Once you feel like you don't have a voice, you're not able to speak with conviction, you're not able to have authority over certain situations, and you don't really get the things that you want in life. And so, me being an aspiring writer, I'm learning to do those things so that I can get to where I want to be, because I know that if I'm just this little voice, out in the crowd, I'm not going to be heard. Being an introverted person is not a bad thing. I do think that there are some qualities of us introverted people that we lack, and of course, like all types of other qualities of another type of person. But yeah, that's the thing that I'm working on right now. And it's a challenge. I'll say that sometimes it's uncomfortable. Me doing this right now, it's a little uncomfortable. I'm gonna be honest. This podcast, but I wanted to do it ultimately so that I can share my experiences with others, so that they can connect with me through it, and they can just follow along as I go and see it as a journey and all. So, all I know is that I'll get there at the end, but right now, just going through the motions. With that comes with transitioning to standing out, and that transition can be hard. I feel like I'm in like the beginning stages of that transition, and I try to stand out in some ways, but I know that there are other ways that I can vocally stand out, where I can vocally stand out. And I know it's going to take some time because it's not something that I'm used to. But I know that, I utilize my college experience as a way to at least try to form some type of leadership within my character, and it has helped a lot. Being a part of student organizations that allows you to have some type of voice to be heard, but within an organization, so your voice is heard, but collectively with others. And so I know that coming out of college, I'm gonna be on my own. I'm learning to stand out more, but to be more vocal about the way I stand out. And it's a lot of work, like I mentioned before. Being vocal comes with practice. I think it just comes with just being mindful in situations. You can just knowing how to approach situations as well. A lot of like introverted people, they have these thoughts in their head, but it's not something that they would say out loud. And sometimes the thoughts can be a little, for lack of better terms, it's just like there's some things that you think that you just don't say out loud. And I think that's a lot of what goes on with us introverted people. So just learning how to actually communicate and talk with people actually helps. Doing interviews, doing mock interviews with people, and yeah, just connecting and networking is another great thing to do, especially if you are aspiring to be in a career that involves working with other people. I know that there are people who just don't like working with people. I like working with people. It's just that sometimes I think too much of a lot of energy can be overwhelming for me. So that's another thing that I'm currently working on, but just gotta move through the motions. So that's some things you can also do to stand out. And just remember not to tint your light for anybody. You are who you are. Be who you are. Shine in your own purpose. And everything will work out in the end. Things happen for its own reason. And it really takes practice to try to be. It takes practice. It takes trials and tribulations. It takes a whole journey to try to be someone that you really aspire to be in your own worth, and not someone that you're just trying to be like, but just forming to become your own self. So yes, that is it for today's podcast of ByBreann. I hope you liked today's topic, and yes, stay blessed.